Yo guys, today I'm going to be reviewing the second generation stylus pen from WINWILL. Now since it is a second generation, we will be referring to the first generation and comparing the difference. We'll see if there are improvements over the last generation. Now WINWILL was awesome to send me a sample of the stylus pen for the iPad, but I have no commitment to say anything nice about the product. I'm going to give my honest opinion, share my thoughts and experience using the stylus. In Amazon, it might cost you about $30 or less depending on your currency or place where you live. This is by far a great price for what you are getting, because opening up the package, I noticed that the build quality is great. The sample I got is the white matte version. I'm really digging the matte feel. It feels very premium. It's really an improvement over the glossy finish that the first generation pen had. Like the Apple Pencil, this stylus does have a flat magnetic side that sticks to the side of the iPad, which makes it very portable, and it looks very similar to the genuine Apple Pencil. But the biggest change to this pen is the fact that the pen tip is the same as the one used in the Apple Pencil. Technically, you could swap between one and the other. So if your real genuine Apple Pencil broke and you don't feel like shelling out $150, you could get this instead and keep the tips for parts. Now the charging port was an interesting choice of design because it uses a DC port. Now you'll need to keep this proprietary charging cable in a safe place, because if you lose it, you won't have any other way to charge the pen. Now speaking of the cord, it is extremely short, so you won't be able to use it while you're charging. And that is an unfortunate design call, in my opinion, since they could have gone with a more universal USB-C for fast charging. Now the power button is another addition to the second generation. The first gen, as you recall in my first video, it has a sensor touch that if you tap it 3 times, you will be able to power up and power down the stylus. This time they listened to the complaints that the users kept accidentally turning off the stylus. With that touch sensor, is so sensitive. Now we have a dedicated power button. So with just one press, you could power on or power off the stylus. And it does glow blue when the power is on. Now that's nice and all, but don't forget to turn it off, because since as far as I know, there's no timer to power down like the first generation, which actually it is a good thing. I agree with this choice, because sometimes you're in idle when you're just listening to a speech and you're in between taking notes or thinking. You don't want that stylus to go to sleep on you. You want to have it always ready, standby for you to start writing again. But just don't forget to turn it off if you are finished with it, because it might drain your battery. Now let's talk about the performance of the pen. First, it is very accurate and fast. There is no noticeable lag when gliding back and forth. There are no jagged lines when you draw like diagonally. Best of all, there is tilt support. Well, of course, in the supported apps in iPadOS. One thing I've noticed about the tilt is that the angle that you need to make to have the shade effect is really low. You really have to hold down the pencil like an artist, which that's probably due to the change of the tip. Since the tip is shorter, the angle is steeper, whereas the first generation had a long tip, so the shading could be done with the normal writing position. But artists will probably like that change. And one bug I did find with my sample is that the iPadOS corner gestures don't respond as well. The first generation doesn't really suffer from this bug, because I could pull up the notes window from the bottom right hand corner or take a screenshot from the bottom left corner easily. I don't know what's causing the problem, if it's the different tip or what. Guys, really quick, I'm gonna jump in here and show you what I was just finished looking over the review I just made, and found out a little trick on how to get more accurate, how to pull up the corner more accurately. If I put my pencil in an angle, it works better than this tip. I don't know why, if it's just because it's a little steeper than the first gen. This one is thicker and longer, while this one is shorter. So I don't know if that affects the performance of the tilt, because it makes it really hard to do this gesture. You really have to tilt down your stylus to be able to get the gesture right, whereas with this one, it doesn't really have to be so much tilted. It still works fine. But that's something to keep in mind. Its gesture still works just fine, just a little finicky because you need to have an angle. And again, like I mentioned in my review, this one works better with angles and the tilt. But it still works, so that's good to know. It's not a real bug. It's just you gotta tilt your hand a little more and then it works fine. But in conclusion, would I recommend this over the Apple Pencil? Yes, if you're in a budget. It does about 80% of what the Apple Pencil can do, but at the fraction of the price. If you don't need pressure sensitivity, tilt, magnetic charging, then this is the stylus for you. I am still happy with the pen. I love it. I've been using it every day. I love the design, the finish, the tip. It all adds to a premium experience, even though it would only cost you about $30. I'm going to leave affiliate links down below so that you could check for the current prices in your area. If you have any questions, you know where to put them. And if you found this video helpful, you know what to do. You know where to hit. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. I also have videos on photography, videography, and also cinematic videos and tutorials. So subscribe, hit the little bell to let you know when a video is up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.